Hello there, everybody. This is Fearmy Games here with part 4 of my Guild Wars 1 playthrough. Last episode, we got our secondary profession. We are now a Mesmer Monk. We got some fancy Mesmer abilities, and we got some fancy Monk abilities on our skill bar over here. If you look here, we gained healing prayers, smiting prayers, and protection prayers, which are all from the monk. We have all of the monk attributes except for divine prayers. So I'm probably going to do just for now is I'm going to put smiting prayers to 2. That'll make my Bane Signet and my Retribution a lot more make them more effective. So I did a little bit of walking around Ascalon before I started just to see if there's any more quests, and I saw there's a new quest available from Prince Rurik. So it says, this Charr agent that you and Devona witnessed leading the Grawl worries me greatly. I've questioned the guards and many of the townsfolk, but none have seen him. I suspect that he is using the catacombs to move through the countryside unseen. My men are all busy safeguarding the wall, and I can spare none of them. If you're willing, I'd like you to go into the catacombs to see if you can find any evidence as to where this Charr is hiding. Perhaps Brother Menlo at the Abbey has seen something. I'll find the evidence you seek. So, we're going to do more side quests. We still have a decent amount of side quests that we can go through. And also, I did double check on my pre-Syrian character. Foretic is, in fact, over on this side of the map. So, what we'll probably do is, before we continue the final story and leave this area, this little tutorial area, we'll go over to Fort Rannick, just kind of see how it is, and do some side quests there, get ourselves as high level as possible, and then we will continue on the main story, or else we won't be able to come back. So the Charr of the Catacombs, so when you go with Ashford Abbey, I believe this one is just outside Ashford Abbey, so we're just going to map travel over to Ashford Abbey from Ascalon City, and then before we go do our quest stuff here inside, we're going to go outside to the Ashford Abbey to do 2 things. First is to talk to Allison the Tanner, in order to trade to finish off our quest. She'll give us a fancy battle axe that we won't really make use of, and a cane. But at least we get some experience with it, and we can sell those weapons. Apparently, I need to take it to him. But on the bright side, because we already went to Barrington Estate, we can just map travel there and back. And also, while I was off stream, when I did the 2 quests that I mentioned, the one that I needed a friend to help me out, I was able to do them. And now, I got 5, I got my remaining worn belt that I needed. So I'm going to exchange my 5 worn belts for 1 belt pouch. And now, I have more inventory space. I'm going to destroy the bear pelts, but I no longer need them for my quest. But I'll destroy them later, mostly because I'm what you call paranoid, and I don't want to destroy them, only find I need them later. Oh, looks like there is actually a new quest here that was not here, I believe, when we were here before. Or maybe it was here and I didn't bother talking to him. Both are options, really. Alright, so the True King. I recently received word from Devona that a Charr Ranger has been sighted south of the wall. Indeed. Thorn and I will begin scouring the countryside for this creature. In the meantime, I need someone to go into the Region Valley to Fort Rannick and deliver a message warning Lord Darren. He must begin his own search for the Trifane. Conveniently, we were already going to Fort Rannick. So I would say convenient. Alright, so we're going to go back to Ashford Abbey to do this quest first, because, I think a prince kind of takes priority over a duke, when it comes to quests. Could be just my opinion. I'm pretty sure I'm right. So let me clear my inventory before we go inside. Highly salvageable. That is not a bad axe, but it does not work for me at all. I'm going to just delete this for own inventory space, because I can always just get it back with another /bonus. You up in this inventory slot, and you in that inventory slot, and I guess I'll sell the rest. So let's talk to Brother Menlo. Charr in the Catacombs. A Charr Ranger south of the wall Rook is right to be worried. I have seen nothing, but perhaps Mistress Mune can offer you some assistance. She is much more familiar with the catacombs than I. She is the necromancer who got that quest from to light the remembrance candles. Unless I'm mistaken. I could be mistaken. My memory with names is not always the best. Which is why at work, usually when I'm like at work and I'm talking to people, I'll be like, name, that person's name, that person's name, that person's name, that person's name, you know, that kind of thing. No, yeah, it was the necromancer. He's just a bit more polite. He doesn't call it the necromancer Mune. He just says Miss Mune. Rook is wise to suspect the Charr are moving through the catacombs. They are fraught with much danger, but if you are familiar with them, they could lead you to almost any region in Ascalon. Seek out my associate, Oberon the Reviled. Very nice sounding guy. He makes his home deep in the catacombs and will know if any Charr have ventured there. I believe Oberon the Reviled is also the third trainer for the Necromancer, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he's the third trainer for the Necromancer. And so, if to basically unlock all of your skills, you need to not only talk to him, you need to not only talk to the Necromancer Mune, you also need to talk to him, and I believe the person that's over right here next to the monk trainer. I believe all of those guys are we're seeking. So I think we go this way. I'm guessing. There's another restless corpse. Oh, I don't want to cast backfire. That was a waste of mana. Because these guys don't cast spells, so there's no point casting a spell that affects people, you know, casting spells if they can't actually cast spells in which to be affected by it. There, that guy killed himself based on empathy alone. I say nice. Excuse me. I'm going to wait for this guy to get into melee range. I'm going to Bane Signet him. Well, and what's nice about Guild Wars 1 is that if you attack enemies with certain kind of attacks, they will take more damage from it, depending on what they're strong against. For example, undead enemies take more damage from holy damage, which is what Bane Signet is. So which is why instead of taking level 30 damage, it took 60 damage. And it comes from that holy damage. Retribution isn't really affected by that because it's not holy damage, it's just the damage that they dealt that reflected back on them. That guy's coming in, so I'm going to cast Empathy on him, and then I'm just going to auto-attack this guy. And there we go. Easy way of dealing with both of the enemies. And again, we'll go up to this one. I can even cast Bane Signet on him real quick. Kill him instantly. We'll Empathy this guy, and just duke it out with him. There we go, nice and easy. So I think we're going, looks like we're going in the right direction, though. You know, catacombs are probably not, you know, all that easy to understand, I imagine. So I could very easily be going in the wrong direction. Nice spider leg. I think spider legs are one of the collector items too. What's kind of funny is my pre-stand character, I'm on that character, and there's so much stuff I just have stored there, just like for collectors that I probably will never need. It's also kind of nice if I'm like escorting a friend who's new to playing Guild Wars 1. I can be like, oh, you need this stuff for the collectors, so that, you know, we can do this one, and you can get out of the priest here nice and quickly. The importance of doing that one was when we were doing, me and my guild and a couple, like some of my friends in my guild, which basically is everyone who's active in the guild, Army of Lightness. We tried to play Guild Wars 1 together as a little bit of a group. Pre-sharing, of course, you can't exactly have a big group of people playing together because there's only twos, you know? So basically, we did let everyone like kind of learn on their own pace in pre-searing, get a little bit familiar with it. I would help them out, try to make sure they didn't miss anything, and then or they could do it on their own depending on them. And then we would meet up in Ascalon. Well, we just did that, and then like all the way up to 8. And if we needed more space, we would just do that's the brain. If we ended up needing more space, then, you know, we just fill out with henchmen. And if we had more people than, like, the party allowed, then we would just split up into 2 groups and try and get it done ASAP, you know? And so that way we can meet back up. It actually happened a decent amount in, it actually started happening Nightfall, where once we got to 8 people, we had the problem with Nightfalls where some of the quests and missions required a hero to come with you, which meant that suddenly, you know, like, we had to split into 2 groups of 4 instead of all playing together, just due to this, you know, annoying quest requirement, you know what I mean? What's kind of nice is that each time this guy attacks, he takes 20 points of damage from his Retribution combined with Empathy. You know, I'm actually quite enjoying Retribution, even though it's 1 less energy regeneration. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to cast Empathy on the one I'm not attacking directly. That way he's slowly killing himself while I'm dealing with this other one here. Let's see, Empathy unfortunately ran out before I killed it. But that should be enough to finish it off. Yeah, it was. It looks like we're almost at Oberon the Reviled. Reviled. Yeah, I was right. I said it right. Looks like we have another situation of a 2v1. But I was able to burst that one pretty effectively. So now let's just finish off this guy. We'll take only a couple more slices. There we go. It's not the Wombo combination is not quite as effective on these crypt spiders as it is on the undead. I'm not sure if it has to do with attack rate or if it just has simply more HP. It's definitely unfortunate. It makes it take longer. Got some nice amount of candles lit up here. You know, I wonder how much money it must take to have keep all these, you know, candles lit for a long time down here. You know, you'd think that, you know, it would be a pretty big annoyance to do it. But, you know, I guess I'm wrong. He's dead. Nice and easy. Oberon the Reviled. Charr in the Catacombs. You come here seeking Charr? You're wise to seek out Oberon. Oberon? I'm gonna just go say Oberon. Because it doesn't seem like Oberon. I could be wrong though. For no creature, be they living or dead, moves through here without my knowledge. This Charr that you seek comes often to the underground. But he does not make his lair here. The spirits of this place would not tolerate him should he seek to take up residence. If you require proof of his presence, take this. It's a token he left behind during one of his encounters with the denizens of this place. Now then, leave me to my studies. Return to the world of light. What a loner. Alright, so I got my Charr tooth, so let's go back to Ascalon City through map travel. And then go to Prince Rook and let him know that we indeed found what we were looking for. Evidence at the, you know. I actually don't know if we're actually specifically looking for evidence. But, you know, we found something. Something's better than nothing, right? I hope so. Prince Rook. This is proof enough. You have served Ascalon well this day. I will mobilize the troops and search for this beast. Looks like he does not have any follow-up quests with me. I'm going to do one quick check just to make sure there's no quest up above. And then we're going to go do the True King quest, which is over in Fort Rennick. We'll probably do this. We'll map travel to Ashford Abbey and then walk the rest of the way there. I think there's a town down here. I think that has a side quest, but there's some side quests on there. We'll see if we end up going down that way. Anyways, before I take the time, I don't know if, you know, I take the time to go down there. Might as well wait. Oh, actually, I think I'm actually going to go back to Ascalon City. No, I could go from Ashford Abbey. It's probably faster, honestly. Yeah, there's no quest there. I'm going to go towards the, over here. Because I want to go do the quest from the monk guy, the monk trainer, because I believe he gives protection pair skills. Well, not too important for me. I'd rather have more skills than less skills. Plus, it's experience points that I wouldn't otherwise have, which I think is valuable, personally. You know, and I have the time to do it. And this is my video series, damn it. And you know, if you guys are still tuned in at this point, you must either think I'm funny, or this is kind of interesting, and you are putting up with the side quests. Either way, you guys are here, and this is mostly so that way I can, you know, always look back on Guild Wars 1 in case the servers die out, you know? Do hidden stash. Anything good here? Apparently someone already alluded to this hidden stash, you know? Otherwise, you know, it's been a fault of advertising, because there's no weapons there. No money even. All it was the sadness and disappointment. Once we get past the pre-steering, I'll probably start salvaging more of the items instead of outright selling them, because usually the material is pretty valuable. Whether it's making your own armor or selling the materials in bulk, definitely be pretty valuable. I guess these guys don't mind me killing their ally here. I find that kind of funny. They're like, yeah, sure, you're killing that Grawl over there, but you know, I'm fine with it. It was kind of like what they were doing. I just find that funny. Empathy, then move up to them. There you go, finished them off. And I'm going to salvage the Grawl long spear gear, because these are designed to be salvaged. So I can put the dust over here. That'd be good. We'll see what the monk wants us to do. It should be not too difficult. There's the Warmaster Grass. Fair Capo, keep this name in mind. She will come back later. Well, you want to encounter her, really, if you don't do any side quests in the story. You could very easily bypass her and not realize she exists, but because we're going to be doing completionist run, we're going to encounter her again later. This is actually a very nice skill. I'm going to take this instead of that. Shield Hands I'm not going to take. Like, Reverse of Fortune's actually a pretty nice skill to have. I think I run out of my monk. But it's a nice skill because instead of taking damage, you instead heal. Only up to 15 health, but you don't take the damage and you heal. I think that's all around a good thing. Didn't he tell me I had to go to Pharaoh Capo? Oh, she's gonna Capo. She's gonna appear over here, and we're gonna do something. Yeah, there she is. I have to keep her alive while she hunts down the infamous Elaine. I assume it's Elaine, not Alan. No, could be Alan. Here we go. I tanked most of that damage, but the Reversal of Fortune was definitely pretty helpful. It only heals for a little bit less than Horizon of Healing. It has the same cooldown and energy, but I think negating damage and healing is a bit better than just a flat heal, you know? So that guy, I expect him to attack her, so I'm going to cast Empathy there. Oh, never mind, he ended up attacking me instead. No, he's not. What's the point of casting Empathy on you if you're just going to not attack anything? So rude. Let's see. Fire starters are there. I assume they're going to attack. I'm going to negate their ability to cast spells, and then I need to focus on keeping her alive, because she is tanking a lot of hits. Backfire is also kind of nice against these guys, even more than just the the basic reason why. Is because even if they don't cast Flare, the AI knows that it has backfire on them, so they won't cast any spells, which basically means when you cast it on them, all of a sudden, they just stop casting spells and they just do their basic attack damage, which is a lot less damage than Flare, which I say makes, casting backfire is supremely valuable. Either they die and they're been dealt with, or they're not as effective as they otherwise would be. A win-win in my book. I feel like these guys were originally attacking me, but then they stopped for some reason. Now that I'm applying some skills to her, now they're attacking me again. This is kind of strange, but on the bright side, this is going well for us. They don't have proper focus fire, so we're able to just be like, die. Woo! Alright. So we're gonna go back, turn in this quest, get our free skills, and then we'll head over to Fort Rannoch. Excuse me, we got little like hiccups. Hiccups / burps combined. It's kinda weird. I think I had an almost yawn as well. Very strange. Very strange. Oops. Let me just check something right here. Make sure no message is good. I got a spam call, most likely from a scammer a little earlier. They're asking me about like Medicare versus Medicaid, and I'm like, hello. I'm expecting calls from somebody I don't like, from a number I probably don't know, because I'm looking into apartments and stuff, and like one of the and I'm like, and it's like, oh, and it's like, I'm like, oh, there's Kiriako, and I'm like, oh. And then they're like, oh, hello, do you have Medicaid or Medicare? I'm like, oh, this is a spam call, hang up. Or a scam, either way. It was not a robot voice, but it was a female voice talking there. And then but I'm like, no, this is definitely a scam. I don't need the tip. I was doing the skill just fine. Alright, now it's time for the True King, so we're just going to waypoint over to Ashford Abbey and then walk out and then sell some stuff real quick before we head over there. I'm going to just salvage the Tall Shield real quick, and then I'm going to buy a new salvaging kit and sell, so that's a quest item apparently. I need to keep that in mind. I think it might be Gwen's quest item. I'm going to try seeing it later on. Alright, I'm going to go through the town because I want to see if there's any quests, making sure I don't miss anything, Alanian townsfolk. Got to make sure I don't accidentally go in the wrong direction, because that can happen, okay? Happens to anybody. I'm going to drink of water, apologize. Water. I'm recording today because my evening client ended up canceling, so instead of me having no time to really do much of anything, I have now time to record some videos. So I'll be doing a couple of videos back to back here. So you'll be seeing the same shirt appear. Admittedly, I only have like 5 fancy shirts, so you see a lot of the same thing anyway. So courage is the true hallmark of an Ascalonian. That's what I believe. My father died defending the Great Wall. If I have a chance to, I'll do the same. Okay, new quest. You've shown yourself to be courageous and trustworthy. I could use your help with so many bandits and troublemakers around these days. Brother Menlo has asked for my help in collecting the tithe for Ashford Abbey. Duke Barrington is especially generous to the church, and I suspect bandits will attempt to intercept his donation. Can you get Barrington's tithe from his man Grasden and deliver it to me? Grasden will be in Kings Hills County, north of here. Okay, I'll do what I can to help. And what is this one? Opposition to the king. It's sad. These royalist fools oppose King Adalbert because he was not born into nobility. I believe we talked about this in either episode 2 or episode 3. So this is information I was talking about. They forgot that it was Adalbert who saved us from the guild wars and the old king, Grenthby Just, who nearly brought Ascalon to ruin. The royalists hoped to depose Adalbert and place Duke Baradin on the throne, but no one dares implicate the Duke in their actions. I'd like you to go to Green Hills County and search for signs of support for the royalists. Head north until you find a road to Green Hill County and talk to at least 3 people there. Sound them out to see if they have royalist sentiments. One warning though, do not talk to War Master Grast. At the slightest mention of disloyalty to Adalbert, he's likely to crush your skull. Sounds like he's making up for something to me, you know? I'll see what I can do. I like how the reply is, I'm no spy, basically saying, I'm no snitch. Alright. One thing that's kind of interesting is, like honestly, for a long time, I didn't do really much of the side quest in Guild Wars 1, so I actually had no idea about this whole, like, little side quest thing, like, this little side story in the tutorial area about how, you know, there's, like, you know, political intrigue, how there's questions about Adalbert's rule in here. Like, I had no idea any of those existed, like, for probably, like, the first few years after I started playing the game. Because I just did the main story and left this area. What's known as Pre-Searing Ascalon, which is the tutorial zone. I had no idea any of this political intrigue came up. And there's so, like, honestly, like, this is the one thing, like, as I became more to appreciate Guild Wars 1, I've seen so many more faults with Guild Wars 2. Because there's nothing as cool in my experience when I go to Guild Wars 2 where it's like, oh, I didn't even realize there's these side quests here. There's such cool backstory to what's going on, like, in the world around me, and I just need to do some exploration, and I find it. But Guild Wars 2, I'm like, I find some exploration. I might find a funny thing here or a little Easter egg there, but it's like, I don't get this whole, like, backstory kind of situation of the world. Part of it comes to the fact that it's a second game, so, like, even though it's 150 years after the events of Guild Wars 1, it's still like, well, you know, it's like, well, you know, we don't need to do too much of this cool stuff, is, you know, you should have seen this in Guild Wars 1, you know, scrub. You know what I mean? And I think there might be a quest over here. I'm going to stop, make a quick detour. Well, like, Guild Wars 1, I'm like, I explore things. Oh, there's a whole, like, opposition thing here? I never knew that, just playing the main story, you know? So I say you know a lot. I don't know, I don't know where I picked that up. But it's something I do. Or it's like where I'm just expressing myself, and sometimes where I'm like, and sometimes just the you-know comes out of it. A pink dye. I probably won't be using it because I want blue. So if you're going to become if you're a ranger or are planning to become a ranger as a secondary profession, this one is one of your ranger teachers. I don't think Gerald is also one. I think he's just there if you want to change animals or something like that for your ranger pet. Devour egg for a quest item apparently. Nothing I want though. So we'll go north to Fort Rannoch. South here is where there's a village somewhere around there, which I think does have some side quests. So I might stop by there if a quest doesn't take me there already. Oh, that's not a thing that's gonna help me at all. So this is one of the altars where basically because I came close to it and lit it up. If I die, I'll reappear here. There you go. For sometimes my character doesn't attack like I expect it to. But there's so much information. I only really learned on my first like true completionist attempt to run at Prophecies, and that honestly inspired me, the lore to like, because I also wanted like that inspired me to, and my like, you know, all the thousands of hours I put into Guild Wars as a series. made me want to try and make a Guild Wars 1, specifically, not Guild Wars 2, but specifically Guild Wars 1 D&D campaign. And as I went more into it, there's a whole like side story where you can basically explore more about what it's like being an Ascalon. Because in the main story, you're not in Ascalon for very long. I think in the main story, you leave Ascalon after the 1, 2, 3. That 1, 2, 3. Maybe about 3 to 4 missions, I would say, in some quests, and you're out of Ascalon. Not a whole lot of time, and you only get a very like bare bones idea of what's going on. One second. Yes. Alright, bye. Sorry about that. Just somebody, just saying goodbye. Really, I really hate when she does it, but you know, no. Where was I? Know that she's interrupted me. The Scaled Brood Collar. Oh yeah, I was talking about Ascalon. But you don't really get an idea of what the situation is in Ascalon very well. Besides, you kind of get some idea about like the interpersonal relationship between like Prince Rurik and his father. I won't really call that a spoiler because I don't say what it kind of is. And you don't really get the whole politics behind it. But then. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the D&D campaign where it's like, you know, before I was just the player who's just going from like place to place, you know, not like killing the animal monsters and stuff like that, not really driving even the story. And then like as I grew older, I'm like, I want to see more in the story stuff. You know what I mean? I tend to enjoy story stuff, but one of the problems with I was gonna say. One of the things like Guild Wars 2, I was actually pretty interested in the story of Guild Wars 1, right up until the Living World Season 4 finished. No, it's Living World Season 3 actually, even earlier. And at that point, I just lost interest in the story. It's hard to really explain why. I just stopped engaging, stopped getting as intrigued by it. Which it's really sad. Like that's like you're playing an RPG and I don't give a shit about the story. You know, what does that kind of say about your RPG? You know. Because like, if I don't care about your story, then how am I going to... Why would I care about the characters? Why would I care what happens to them? And that's one of the main selling points of an RPG, is to go through the story. Sure, there's raids and that kind of thing going on there, which I still do raids. I do a lot of raids. I do a decent amount of PvP. I don't really do much Overworld, never have. I think I need a dedicated group where I really have fun with it before I get into World v World, but I never could get my guild much into it, and so like I never did a whole lot of it. But it's an interesting game mode. But it's like, why would I bought it? It's like, like if I really cared about that kind of thing, there's other games that do it just as well that might do like more PvP oriented kind of stuff better than. Do I have no spider legs for that? No, I don't. I need one. I sold my spider legs. Oh, the crying hose aren't important. But it's like the story that really gets me, gets you attached to the characters, gives you a reason to play, like for like a marathon through the story kind of thing. And in Guild Wars 1, I played PvP, and I did PvP and made characters just to play through the story again. I never I did a little bit. I did like a little bit of the deep. I did. Yeah, I did a little bit. Oh, I may not do. Wait, I wasted mana. Nah, it's fine. I played a little bit of the deep, but I did one run of the Fisher of Woe, but I didn't really do a whole lot of the endgame story. Now that I'm a little bit older, now that part of my appreciation for like doing side quests and doing everything in a game is kind of come as I'm older. Part of that I also want to do is all the end game stuff I didn't do. Now I've like played a lot of raids in Guild Wars 2, I'm like, oh, I really want to see how things worked in Guild Wars 1 with like the end game stuff, because I remember like a lot more open with a lot of things to do. And Guild Wars 1 is honestly, as a game, is just more difficult than Guild Wars 2. And for me, that's a good thing, you know? Guild Wars 2, to me, it's super easy of a game. I know for a lot, like, there's a lot of people who struggle with it, and it just, that kind of thing just reminds you of how much, just reminds you of the differences of people in terms of their skill level and stuff. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to use Bane on this target because I want her to attack as much as possible while empathy is up. I think I was trying to cast Shatter just as it timed out to try and maximize the just to try and maximize the amount of damage I was going to do. I have to wait for my energy to come back. And now it's dead. There we go. Now she's dead. Let's go this way. So we'll follow the water line here, I think, and then I believe there's a bridge to cross into Fort Rannoch, which I think is where it is. I just follow the road. Share the road. Oh, I was too slow at trying to cast their Shatter Illusions on it. Now. Perfect. Shattered Illusions hits both of them, which is why I'm trying to like time it perfectly. I don't always time it as perfectly as I would like, but you know, I try. You know. I think the one that I left at low health actually killed itself by trying to attack me through Retribution. The value of skills. Well, I'm being attacked by a decent amount of guys. I need to... Yo, that one died to empathy. Thankfully, these guys attack decently quick. That one's low level, so it's definitely going to die if I cast empathy on it. Now I'm going to cast Bane on this one. Reversal of Fortune. There we go. That one should die to empathy. Perfect. I'm going to use that to heal myself. There we go. Perfect. Oh, my inventory is full. I guess what I'm going to try doing is I'm going to try salvaging stuff like that and into crafting materials to make space for more loot. Infinite loot. There we go. Oh, and there's a wand actually right there too. I can salvage on the way. And then I go this way for. I wonder, is that a sign? Oh, it actually says, yeah, 2 Lakeside County going that way. Though it doesn't actually say 2 Fort Rannoch. I wonder what's down that road. Probably a village or something like that. Or maybe something off map. That one's dead. There's Shadow Illusions. Auto attack to finish it off. Oh, 3 Brood Collars again. Shatter that. Bane Signets. auto attack to finish it off. Seems that empathy wasn't enough to kill this target here. I'm going to use that to heal myself real fast. And now we can use empathy here. I'm going to pick up that wand. And then finish it off with Bane Signet. Perfect. Air wand, I can't identify yet. There, identify, improve sale values. I definitely won't salvage that. I went through my salvage kit already. I was about to say my salvation kit. Yes, this is how you get to salvation, everybody. So she has a quest for me. I'm so glad you happened along. Could you help me, please? I was out here picking apples. I'd almost filled my basket when the spiders... Ugh. They were everywhere. It must have been that the scent of the apples that attracted them. Anyway, I dropped my basket and ran. What else could I do? But I won't get any wages for today if I don't get that basket back. Can you go into the orchard and get my basket for me? Those spiders won't give you any trouble, I'll warrant. So we can go in that direction and grab it. We'll go back for that one. I want to turn in this quest and also get Fort Rannoch, unlocked. There's actually some people here. I'm surprised. Honestly, it still surprises me just how many people are actually in these areas. So this is legs. More legs, I think. So we're going to buy another There's another salvage kit. My identification kit can still last me a little while, and then I'll just sell the stuff here. I'm going to keep the vials of dye. I like keeping them. And we'll just put that one there, this one there. There we go. You know, I could be using my imp. I keep forgetting to use it, but, I mean, it's not too important. Oh, he has a... Oh, yeah, this is the guy I have to turn the True King quest to. What's this? A letter from the Duke? Oh, I see. The good Duke suggests that I'm not doing enough to serve Ascalon. See what he says here? I trust you and your men. Being so far from the conflicts at the wall, have ample resources to hunt down this Charr. Between you and me, Baradin is fortunate he is so skilled a warrior. Else he'd learn to regret being such a poor diplomat. In any case, his message has been received. You may consider yourself dismissed. I'm going to expand with some messages. Okay. Looks like my dad is taking my Yahoo, who came by here, to some apartments that she owns to do some stuff. This is actually not a pretty decent axe. I might try and see if I can, I might hold on to it just to salvage it. It's actually that good. So I'm going to try moving this out there, put that there, put that there. So this one uses 5 unnatural seeds to get Crichton and Tyre. If you're making a pre-searing character, it's actually pretty good that you take note of where these collectors are, because these collectors is how you get better armor for a pre-searing character. If you're trying to go for that achievement where you get to level 20. It's not the same for every class, which collectors give what. So if you're making a Mesmer, you can keep an eye on that one for what the Mesmers give. And, for any of your characters, you can keep in mind and see if they have what you need. The reason why I believe it's in for each class is I remember doing this for a character and being like, oh, this guy doesn't have armor here. I'm pretty sure I picked it up for this other character. Strange, kind of a situation. Oh, there's a river scale. Kill that one. That one's dead. This one's going to be finished off. There we go. I think if I had not cast Empathy first, I think if I captured Conjure Phantasm first, that river scale probably would have been killed. Probably would have been killed by Empathy by itself. But because Empathy, it took a moment for me to a second to cast Conjure Phantasm, and then for them to aggro to me and attack. It meant that there was one less attack from the river scale to damage it and kill it. There we go. it's dead now. I'm going to attack this one. Empathy should finish that one off. Yeah, there we go. That was right. There you go. That one's dead. Let's salvage this. Well, Hex. This is what. So these are basically the same thing. Though these both get the same amount of energy. Have cast them as spells. 5% chance. I like what I got right now. So it should be around here, I guess, over in that direction. Basket of apples. Well, and we'll take this back. Oh, there's a giant spider there. I'll have to drop the item in order to deal with these guys effectively. I'm now level 7. Victory is mine. That should kill it. I'll just start picking up the items. Identify the flat bow. Not bad. That's definitely not a good one. Alright. I'm walking so slowly carrying this heavy basket of apples. I just like the way my shoulders just move up and down. I think it's kind of funny. Oh. Someone's online. I didn't even notice that. Oh. I didn't even realize what time. It's already been 46 minutes. I didn't even realize that. Time flies when you're having fun playing Guild Wars 1. So what I'll probably do is after I get back to Fort Rannick and turn in this quest, we'll probably call an end to this episode. Oh, oh no, never mind. That was dumb of me to ask for myself about, because I already know the answer. I heard a little bit of sound. I'm like, oh, did my move over my my laundry for me? Like, then I remembered I put it in myself right before I started recording the video. I don't think my mic picks it up because it's not a loud. I don't think it's particularly loud noise, especially through my door. But it was just kind of a fun. I just found it kind of funny. I'm like, I know the answer to this. Why am I asking myself and being just dumb? Alright, let's pick up the hand axe. Highly salvageable. I got 2 wood planks from the hand axe, no iron ingots from the blade. I'm apparently really bad at salvaging things, like, you know. Just as like I'm really... Oh, I just realized I didn't even cast Retribution this time around. Which is affected by fast casting, which basically reduces the recharge time. But because Retribution is also an enchantment spell, the recharge time doesn't really do... There's no real recharge time for it, actually. So even though the recharge time is reduced, it's also still the recharge time, and no real reason to be too worried about it because it's an enchantment skill. I think it's rather funny. So I think both of our next quests are going to be in the Green Hills country. I'm going to do one quick look around in Fort Rannick, make sure there's no quests here for me, and then we'll probably be ending the episode. I had a fun time today. I had a fun time this episode. Got more of our monks. I think that's all of the monk trainers in Pre-Searing. There's differing levels of trainers for each profession. I believe the most is 3. I believe Ranger has 3. I believe Necromancer has 3. And I believe Warrior has 3. But I believe Mesmer, I believe have 2. I forget exactly what the number is, but it's not a lot. You know, it's less than some of the other ones are. Oh, these guys are apparently part of the quest. Apparently. We'll worry about this quest next time, though. Alright, guys. Oop, I wanted to turn to. I want to see your face. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a good day, night, wherever you may be. These episodes are releasing every Friday at 6 in the morning Pacific. The reason why I do it 6 in the morning is for anybody in Europe who's watching. You also get to enjoy this this time when you get off of work. So I think it's perfectly timed, you know. If you guys want to, I have Total War content that I'm doing Monday through Thursday, and then we have this on Fridays. We're all releasing at the same time. Hopefully you guys, if you guys enjoyed this one and you guys like Total War, feel free to check out those videos. If you guys don't like Total War, then, you know, oh well. If you guys have no idea what that is, feel free to check it out. It's pretty interesting. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good